Good morning, everyone. What we're going to be talking about today is secants, tangents, and angle measures. And we'll start off first with a couple definitions. A secant is a line that intersects a circle in exactly 2 points. A secant is a line that intersects a circle in exactly 2 points. So let's draw a diagram of that. So in this circle, if we take a line L, and it intersects the circle at points A and B, then line L is a secant. And here is our first rule regarding secants. If two secants or chords intersect in the interior of a circle, then the measure of an angle formed is 1/2 the sum of the measure of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. And the diagram will make much more sense. If two secants or chords intersect in the interior of a circle, then the measure of the angle formed is 1/2 the sum of the measure of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. So let's draw a picture of that and explain what that means. So let's take this circle and then we're going to take two secants and we're going to have them intersect inside the circle. So if we take this secant and this secant, got points A, B, C, and D. We've got angles 1 and angle 2 right here. And what this rule says is that the measure of angle 1 is equal to 1/2 the measure of arc AB plus the measure of arc CD. So the measure of angle 1, angle 1's right here. The measure of this angle is equal to 1/2 this arc plus this arc. And that the measure of this angle 2, the measure of angle 2 right here, would be equal to 1/2 of arc BC plus arc AD. Okay? So the measure of angle 2 would be equal to 1/2 the measure of arc BC plus the measure of arc AD. So let's try an example problem. And we are going to be finding x. In this circle, we've got two chords intersecting inside the circle. And you're given points R, S, T, and U. And arc RS is 84 degrees. And arc TU is 130 degrees. And here is x. So if we apply the rule, and this looks just like the green example up here. Alright, so here's angle x is going to be equal to 1/2 of arc TU plus arc RS. So here's your math. The measure of angle, or let's do it this way, let's just say that x is equal to 1/2 times 130 plus 84. So our x is going to be equal to 1/2 of 130 plus 84, 214. So x is going to be equal to 107. Let's do another example. And we're going to be finding x again. Now we've got two secants intersecting inside of a circle, and they're intersecting at point E, and we've got AB, points A, B, C, and D. Arc CD is 75 degrees. Arc AB is 143. And this is your angle X. So based on the given information, we need to find this angle measure first, because we're given the 75 and the 143. So we can call that angle CED. So the yellow angle is angle CED. So the measure of angle CED is equal to 1/2 of 75 plus 143. So once we find CED, we can subtract it from 180 and get angle X, because these two angles, yellow and green, form a linear pair. So our angle CED is going to be equal to 1/2 of 75 plus 143. Half of 218, and a half of 218 is 109. So the measure of angle CED is equal to 109. That's this angle right here, the yellow angle. This is 109. And yellow angle and angle DEB are a linear pair. So the measure of angle CEB is going to be equal to 180 minus 109. And 180 minus 109, 71 degrees. Alright, now we're going to be finding an arc measure using the same rule. So we've got a circle with we're going to be having a couple of chords intersect inside this circle if this program will cooperate. So we got this chord GJ, and it intersects with KH, inside the circle. So the same theorem applies. We're given this angle of 110 degrees. This arc KJ is 97 degrees, and we need this arc. We're going to use the same rule, okay? So if we use the rule from above, then this yellow angle is going to be equal to 1/2 of this arc plus this arc. So let's set this up. 110 is going to be equal to 1/2 times x plus 97. Now there's two ways you can do this problem. You could do the distributive property and then solve for x, but I think it's simpler to just take the 1/2. You can divide both sides by 1/2 right now. And if you take 110 and you divide it by 1/2, you're dividing 110 by 0.5, then you get 220. So we're going to have 220 equals x plus 97. And if we subtract 97 from each side, then 220 minus 97, 123 is equal to x. Alright, I'm going to do a couple more example problems, and then that will wrap up the notes for today. Alright, in this example, we're going to have two secants intersecting inside of a circle. So here's a secant MQ. And another secant PN. We are looking for x degrees, and we are given a 55 degree arc and a 75 degree arc. Alright, again, this looks like a previous example. We don't know the measure of arc MN or arc PQ, so we're going to find the measure of this green angle first, right here. If we find the measure of this green angle using this 75 degree arc and this 55 degree arc, well, green angle and angle X form a line, so they're a linear pair. Their measure is 180. So we can use this information to find the value of X. And I'm just going to call this Y right now. So Y is going to be equal to 1/2 of 75 plus 55. So our Y is equal to 1/2 of 75 and 55. It's 130 degrees. So Y is going to be equal to 65 degrees. Alright, so if Y right here equals 65 degrees, and these two form a line, they are a linear pair, then X is going to be equal to 180 minus the 65. So our X in this case is equal to 115. And that is going to wrap up your notes for today. Please daily check focus for assignments and check my YouTube page for your notes, and actually do it in the reverse order. Check your YouTube page for notes each day, take your notes, read over your notes, highlight your notes, mark your notes up, reread your rules, your theorems. Those are the items that are starred, and then check focus for an electronic assignment. Make sure you have your notes in front of you when you open your focus assignment.